Hi. Corinne here with Soulshift Channeling. I am here I heard 4 and then also 14. So we'll see exactly how many messages ring through. You'll see in the description. But I'm glad to be here today. I'm thankful for all of you and I'm ready to get into it. Okay. So how this works is I basically open up a channel connection with the Akashic Records. That's the way that I tune in to soul guidance. When I work one-on-one, I tune into your particular soul, and you can ask however many questions that you like and get the clarity that you need. It's very energetically informed. It's very much about what your energy is doing in this life, where it feels lined up and where it doesn't. And if you're wanting to get more clear, I don't have a better experience on the planet, it's for you. And you're open to getting guidance from other people. If you're into getting a better experience on the planet and you're into getting guidance, soul guidance through an external mirror, then it's for you. So welcome to today. We're going to dip in. I'll ask you in a moment to tune into the collective pile that you'd like to choose into, but there is a collective message at the beginning and at the end, so feel free to catch those. Without further ado, let's get into our prayer. This is what clears and centers me so I can connect to that space. And we'll take you along with my center with your center, our center with all centers. Our center is the one center. I enter the realm of masters, teachers, and loved ones of the collective and match our hearts and minds with theirs. I enter the realm of masters, teachers, and loved ones of Soulshift's collective. Got it. And match our hearts and minds with theirs. Let us find, through joy and wisdom, the ability to open the universe and ourselves to greater possibility and deeper love. Eternal source, fill our hearts with clarity and sacred power and show us the collective's place of balance. Show us Soulshift collective's place of balance. Hear us now as we become one with the whole. When we are complete, release us in love and admiration, keeping our energy raised. Records are open. Okay, y'all, I was getting clear instructions to go back and refocus, re-hone in on not the huge, large collective, but the collective that we're establishing here, because it is, a list of doers and makers and energetic givers and takers. The first thing I feel is kind of like swirling. It felt like a bouncing ball, which I feel like is something that came through last week, but I am seeing it very much like take off and start swirling around you. This feels like the middle of transformation. Side note, we are going with 14 messages today. Okay. This feels like transformational period. This feels like kind of like caterpillar in the cocoon energy, but a little bit different. So, in Cinderella, when the fairy godmother waves her wand and the sparkles kind of circle Cinderella, and it almost feels like when the leaves are just picked up by the wind and swirl in kind of a cyclone shape. It's like your rhythm something that you've been practicing over and over, the bouncing ball, has now just been picked up and lifted, and it's like the universe saw that you have committed to something, that you can keep time, that you can do a basic skill, and it's like now it takes that content that you've put your focused energy in on, that basketball that you were bouncing, and putting your energy into repeatedly with consistency, and it's going to kind of take it and like bring it all around you. The biggest thing to do in this process is trust, because I'm seeing kind of like the urge to like, if you're bouncing a basketball and then it comes off the ground and starts swirling around you, if you've got a project that's near and dear to your heart, the urge is to keep your eyes on it, right? You've trained yourself. You tried to learn to dribble so hard that it's like focus on the ball, and even once you took your eyes off your project and you started exercising your habit and your path and your pattern without such intense oversight, you still felt it. You had the input of the ball hitting your hand, right? Of like, it was a felt sense thing as opposed to a visual thing. Just like when we learn to play the piano, right? At first you're really staring at the keys, and then you can kind of get a muscle memory for it. Or same with a car, you know, apply it anywhere. But now it's reached a different stage where something's happening. There's a reorientation process, and it's quite literally out of your hands. It's divinely supported, and at this point in divine orchestration, there's really, there's really nothing you can do to influence that at this time. Yeah, you can go try and get the ball back, right, from the universe, but you need to understand that the universe is on your team and that there has to be trust there. If something's taken out of your hands, it's time to let it go. Because either you're being put into a new position, there's a new project that's going to come to you. You don't have to worry. It's not time to move yet. You just have to trust and feel the lightening of the layers, the lightening of the load. All right, I want you to tune into 1 to 14. There may be 2 or 3 messages for you. Piece them together as you will. If you want to just stay in channeled flow and have that experience of kind of traveling in the same way. Have you ever driven down the highway, like gone on a road trip, and you'll either link up with another car or another car will link up with you, and like someone has cruise control on, or maybe you just like are caravanning with a friend, or whether it's someone you know or you don't know, sometimes it's easier to just travel in pairs or travel in a caravan, and that way it like kind of takes a little bit of mental load off. I want to acknowledge that this is something that is offered in these videos of when you want to travel in divine flow for a little bit or travel in flow in a little bit. Sometimes it's nice to listen along to the whole thing, you know? So always fun, a little bit of recognition and shout out to those there. If you are looking for specific guidance, tune into a number 1 through 14. If you want to just come along for the ride, welcome. We love to caravan. Love to have you here. And I will also say the next image that I'm getting is like, you know how birds fly in a V formation to kind of break the air current? That's what we're doing here, right? When we collectively travel in a certain direction, when we travel towards a certain destination, when we hold a collective vision, it just like makes it easier. And then you can share snacks along the way, and you know, it's more of a collective fun experience. So welcome in if that's you. If not, if you're here just for a message, also totally cool and okay. Tune into 1 through 14. I'm going to say them all out loud right now because that is a clarified resonance. And I need to write them down. No. Okay, got it. 1, yellow. 2, orange. 3, red. 4, violet. 5, purple. 6, blue. 7, orange. 8, yellow. 9, red. 10, yellow. 11, purple. 12, indigo. 13, blue. 14, violet. 1 through 14, you can also tune in using your colors. I know we have purple, indigo, and violet. I don't know how we're going to separate it out, but it's going to be fine. It's going to be fun. Find shortcut links in the description, and I'm so stoked to see where we're at. I'm going to be using numbers to catalog these along the way, and we'll see you there. Okay. Group 1. Group 1. All right. I see a lot of, it's almost like the veins of a plant leaf, but like the veins of a river, a lot of branches, a lot of different paths. It just seems like there are actually a bajillion different paths you can take. And the biggest answer is like, or the biggest answer is gonna come from deciding how specific do you want to get right now. Because I see these branches going not really in a ton of different directions. It all kind of goes the same direction, but it's just how fast or slow the water is moving that you need to decide on. So like bigger rivers, the flow is easier. The flow can carry you more easily. The ride might be slower. The water moves a little bit slower than in a small stream where the water probably moves a lot faster. I don't know. There's a happy medium there that you want to find. Basically focusing on how specific you want to get in your life. How detailed do you want to be focused on? It's not about choosing which direction you want to go. It's about choosing how minute do you want to be working? Do you want to be working with the masses? Do you want to be working very specifically one-on-one? Do you want to be impacting large groups in areas, or do you want to be having fine-tuned work? And it's like not necessarily the amount of people that you're going to be impacting, but like the kind of work that you want to be doing. Are you doing broad brush strokes, or are you doing detail work? I think that's going to give you the most answer, the most information on whatever question, like whatever, when you're trying to decide where to invest your time and energy. Not necessarily where to go, because I feel like you kind of know where you're at, but it's like where to put your focus, where to invest yourself is going to be how broad or narrow, how generalized or detailed you want your focus to be. Okay, I'm hearing my own stomach rumble, and I'm hearing that you're hungry for it. And it's like, I hear, we know. Stop waiting for specific food to come your way and start consuming what's been put in front of you. I feel like you're seeing the opportunities put in front of you as something old that you've tasted before that you don't really like, but it's like the cooks took your notes. The cooks are like, whoever's making this food, they're like, oh yeah, they didn't really like this one. Let me try it again, but in a slightly different flavor. And instead of just cutting it off at the pass and being like, no, I'm not engaging in that anymore. I'm not committing to that experience. I'm not trying it again. Just recognize the hunger in your belly and stop waiting for this perfectly aligned, chef inspired dish to come in front of you, because come on, I hear you. Like, you're not about, like, yes, presentation is important to you, but you're not about looks. You know what I mean? Presentation is important to you because of the information that it brings with it. You're not going to say no, but I feel like you are saying no to how things look right now because it doesn't meet your presentation standards. And I'll just remind you that what you're actually interested in is the nutrients behind the presentation, right? You're only looking at presentation because it's often an indicator of what nutrients occur in that space. And you're using your past experience to inform your current choices, which is a very normal and human thing to do. But I'm here to remind you that evolution can and does occur, and it's actually happening much more rapidly than any of us have been trained to experience. Evolution is happening literally as we speak, and it's important to give things another chance now and not be silly or dumb or ignorant, right? To have an open mind, but to try something again. Okay. Reach out if you need more definition, clarity, or if you want one-on-one guidance. Okay. You got this. All right, group two. All right, my loves, I know you guys are orange. I hear that. And I hear the joke, like, aren't you gonna say banana? I feel like you've had too many jokes. I feel like the puns are not for you. You're not here to play around. I hear that. You're not here to play around. You are not here to play. I am getting a little bit of like stank attitude from you right now. And I hear that it's unfounded. The reminder here is to center and focus on yourself. I don't think you've given yourself enough time and energy to be who you are, to be who you are in your own evolution. Message that's coming clear today is that evolution is happening really, really fast right now. It's important for you to stay present to your own evolution. I feel like you are wearing a hermit crab shell that's too small for you. And it's because you don't think you're ready to up level yet, because you are so your soma, your body is so programmed in past programming or like growth schedules. But it's time for a new house. It's time to expand, and whether you like it or not, you are expanding. So it's helpful for you to choose environments that not compensate, but can hold your expansion more comfortably with more ease. So start having those conversations. It doesn't have to be like a physical moving, but you need to start reconciling in the relationships in your life that expansion is happening just as much for the other person as for yourself, because I feel like you're needing a little bit of help and support processing your own expansion. All right, group 2, you got this. If you need additional support or if you want one-on-one guidance, find me below and book in. I would love to consult. Okay. Group 3. Yeah, I hear it's time to be like a tree. Group 3. It's time to be like a tree, and that you really can't hide. Even if you're in a forest, like you can hide if you're in a forest, right? Maybe, but it's not like an animal. You can't move out of the way. You can't hide. You can't change yourself. You can shed parts of yourself, but the core of who you are is unequivocal. And it's time to really just stay in one place. It's time to really just stay in your body, stay in yourself, stay in your rhythm and routine, and to just kind of find comfort there. Recognize the steadiness of who you are through changing seasons. It's so special to be this way because, I mean, trees are anchors while they are alive. They're landmarks. They are homes for other animals. But even beyond their existence. When trees are cut down, they still provide homes, they provide structure, right? They are lasting physical form. And it's time to acknowledge and to express your consistent, reliable structure in your physical form, and to consider and to just attune to and align with the legacy that you leave. Because you can see it now. You know what it looks like. You know what your legacy is. Where you stand in your life, you can feel into your roots, you can feel into your past and how you've existed, and you can see your growth. You can see where you're continuing to grow, but you also have the capacity in your physical form. Your body knows what your legacy is right now. And I'm hearing it's important to tune into this, not because, not because a greater awareness of it is going to make it easier to do, because it will, but you need to tune into this because others have to see it too. And it is easier for others to see, for others' energetic forms to see, for others' future selves to see, if your future self is trained on it now. We are all capable of this, and you are in a particular alignment where you are really exploring the technology of existing across many times at once. We're always existing across many times at once, but to do so with cognitive awareness is something that's coming into form, is something that's coming into our realm of existence. It's going to become popularized, right? For all of us eventually, but this is a task, a tool, a rhythm, a procedure, a modality, a way of living that you in particular are just really leaning into right now, and that's great. But one of the best parts of this is that you're leaning into this new technology will help others do the same, but it's going to start like a feedback loop. So the more you lean into existing across many times at once, and you feel in your tree body, you feel in your energetic body and in your full form, your future self and your legacy, specifically your legacy, like what happens after the tree has been cut, after your physical body is gone, after your 3D this life has ended, to tune into your energetic impact and your energetic presence and what that feels and is and looks like at that time, is going to start informing future other selves who may not even be born yet, right? But who will have a physical presence when you yourself do not in the future. And you're impacting those people then is going to help them send information and energy back to their energetic bodies now. And then you are going to read information from the energetics that are happening to you now, and you are going to put that into your physical form and like write that into your tree rings as you grow. And it's just kind of like, not necessarily synergy, but it's like a cyclical loop of information sharing that is really powerful, that when done in a balanced way across multiple relationships in your life, not just with one energy or entity, but if you start practicing this with other forms, right? Like I'm seeing, like, go practice it with trees, right? Go practice it with bushes. Go practice it with perhaps not people energy, but with other physical things whose energy you can feel go beyond your physical life, either before or after. It's going to keep you balanced, and it's going to help you get a more holistic view of this, so that way when you do start practicing this with people and more animated souls, or I should say more souls that have more empowered, I'm hearing impactful will, beings who can really exercise and exert change in their environment. Practicing this now is going to help you be able to work with those energies in a more balanced way, because the important part of being a successful or a well-balanced tree is not leaning too far in one direction. It can make you really weak and susceptible to damage when storms come, and that's not what we want. We want like strong, sturdy, well-anchored, straight trunk experience. All right, loves, keep me posted. This sounds interesting, and I think you've got this, but if you do want additional support or need one-on-one guidance, reach out. Okay, group 4. Okay, I hear we're all about the rhymes and riddles today. I'm really into it. I hear I declareth them more. 1, 2, 3, 4. I declareth them more. And there's this ask to like put your weapons down. Put your weapons down. You look like a fool. Love you. But it's also just like, I don't know, I'm seeing two different things. One thing, I'm seeing like a 4-year-old with a bat and like doing like for a piñata game, and they're just like swinging all around, and like you're totally like, I don't know if the piñata has already been hit or if it's like been taken off the ground, or like it's not even on the plane. You're just so far from it. It's just like, and no adult can kind of get to you to like calm you down, because you're not hearing, you're not listening. I feel like you're just in you're in so much fight or flight that it's like your senses have completely or largely shut down, and your heartbeat and your adrenaline is really driving your action right now. And it's like, you can continue to freak out, go for it, put the weapons down, put the bat down before you hurt yourself or others. The other thing I see is just like, like a baby kind of like kicking their legs and waving their arms, and like really just like, it's a way to get their energy out, you know? And I recognize that you need to get this energy out. Like it's number one, it's not yours. And that makes it really unfair, because when you don't know what something comes from, you don't have a way to change it with the same kind of grounded and rooted intelligence as if it came from inside your body. If your own body experiences a trauma and then you are exercising a pre-programmed response after that trauma, it's maybe not easier, but you can more intelligently shift that behavior when you're aware of where it came from and where it wants to go. If the trauma that you're acting out is not actually yours, it's kind of like just a shot in the dark, kind of sifting through different options or trying different things and not knowing if it's going to stick or land or what. And so a couple of things. Number one, validation that it sucks, that it's a lot, that it's, Number two, that it's not yours. So a reminder that it's not yours. Yes, you agreed to carry it and play it out. We're thankful for you. But it's time for help to come in. It's time for help to come in. And that's also part of your agreement. So any kind of shame or lack of awareness, or I don't know what's in your head right now that you are feeling a type of way about, just let it be. Just let it be. Put it down. That's a weapon. Put it down before you hurt yourself or others. You don't need to be wielding shame around like it's a blunt force trauma inducing weapon. You don't. You're going to hurt yourself. And if you hurt yourself, you hurt someone else. And if you hurt someone else, you hurt yourself. So give yourself a break. Cool it. Take some deep breaths, some calming breaths, some like breaths, right? And I recognize that it's not going to be even about calming yourself down. It's about managing the amount of energy that's going through your body. So it's okay if your breath doesn't come down to a baseline where you can be calm again. Manage your energetic through your breath, even if it has to end up being sustained, calming breaths. And if waves come in where it gets harder, it's just like giving birth, right? You continue to breathe through it and allow the energy, the energetics to flow through your body, but not wreak havoc on it. Okay, you got this. All right. I think you guys are in it right now. I'll see you on the other side, okay? 5, group 5. What a great time to be alive. What a great time to be alive. We're happy to be alive. Yeah, I feel like your message is gratitude. It feels very simple. I just see you sitting in the same place and finding new things to be grateful for every day. It's almost like that exercise where you sit in the woods or sit in a nature space or even a cityscape, wherever you sit in a public environment or in an outside environment, and you pinpoint sounds. Close your eyes and you just pinpoint different sounds. And you end up recognizing so much more when you limit one perception and you open up another. You kind of expand your awareness. Your body's taking in all this information no matter what, but when your cognition, when your brain can get focused on these different aspects, it's a really powerful tool. Okay. Group 5. I'm also hearing, or I'm seeing that like as you're sitting in this lotus position, I see your mind traveling really far distances. I'm hearing at the speed of light. So it's almost like a practice where I see your physical form getting really still. I see your mentality just like having gratitude for a lot of different things, just kind of like quieting your mind and just kind of like that sound exercise going around and finding gratitude for different things in your life. And what that is doing is it is anchoring your physical form. It's anchoring your physical form into space and time to be safe enough to send a large part of your vision, a large part of your perception, right? If you're closing your vision and opening your ears by doing this gratitude practice, it's allowing your physical form to hold down the fort enough to let your vision travel outside of your body, because it knows where to get back to. And this is, if you'll stick with me, if your hearing is gratitude, your vision is manifestation. So when you sit and you gratitude everything, right? It allows your manifestation to go out and get what you want. Or if not even go out and get what you want, it allows you to see what's coming. And seeing what's coming is influenced by what it is you're grateful for today. So I urge you, when you are making your gratitudes, I really need you to be sincere. Find sincerity. Go where sincerity goes. The more expansive, the more the wider your sincerity is, the more expansive your manifestations become. The wider your sincerity is, the more expansive your manifestations become. All right, group 6. Group 6. We're doing a lot of rhyming today, guys. I'm hearing it's time to pick up sticks. And saying that I'm seeing someone like gather kindling, gather thumb-sized sticks to start a fire. And it's not necessarily to start a fire. It is because I'm seeing someone else kind of starting the fire and kind of building the structure. And someone else really even using the spark or providing the spark, applying the spark. But what I see you doing is very important, and it's gathering the materials that bridge a small, more kind of like a thready pulse, right? A newly sprouted seed. Like you have the newborn phase where things are like more precarious, touch and go. Like you can't, if you're starting a fire, you don't want the wind to come and blow it out, right? You are gathering materials to take something from seedling, from sprout, to something substantial, something for the collective, something that can bridge that transition and that can provide constant, I'm hearing bite-sized support during that time. Yeah, it's like if you're eating for one, it takes a lot of energy to make a meal. Because when you make a meal, you have to have a certain amount of ingredients at the ready. It also takes a lot of energy to feed a village. And so I'm seeing like when you batch create, when you batch cook something, right? Like if you're eating for one, if you're feeding yourself, if you live alone and you're feeding yourself, what I'm seeing is making a big batch of something, putting it in the freezer. I do this a lot. And then taking out jars as you need them, just having them ready to go, brings the stress of cooking way down, right? Because you don't need to get all the ingredients for that one meal together. And you're also not cooking for a huge village where you'll have to do the same thing again, or someone will have to do the same thing again tomorrow. You're collecting individual ingredients, and you're asserting a massive amount of energy to batch cook, to do a big batch cook, and you're like dripping that to yourself over time, right? You make one big thing, you portion it out, you put it in the freezer, and then you take from that as you need. It's like a soaker hose, right? Instead of using a hose to soak a little baby plant all at once and then flood it, probably drown it, and then it'll be dry later on. It's like taking that same amount of water and spreading it out over time. I'm feeling like this is the kind of energy that you need to have, but on collecting resources. it's like doing it in lump sums. You can have big pushes to get a bunch of resources all at once, but you need to drip them out to yourself over time. It's as if it's as if you are both the fire starter and that very important like kindling collector, but all rolled into one. There's also a reminder that I'm hearing like, but it's so difficult to have both these roles. It's a lot of work. Like I'm hearing a lot of not excuse, but a lot of protest come up in this space. And yes, it's true, but it doesn't need to be. If you want it to be easeful, it gets to be easeful. Because you're no longer working just by yourself, you're working with universal support. So those windfalls of collecting resources are going to come into you all at once. And you're not going to have to go out and look for that. It's not going to be so hard. It's going to be a lot easier. The task in your hands is to just have the capacity, have the clarity. I'm hearing mental clarity, having the mental clarity, because it's I think a lot of what's standing in your way is like mental chatter. And I'm hearing like peanut gallery, like the peanut gallery of your beliefs. Like, you know, that little voice in your head where it's just like chattering away, but not always in the nicest way. Look at that little bum. Yeah, exactly like that. That part of me that just saw this little hair sticking out, being like, oh, that doesn't look good. Da, 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 da. Shut it down. Shut it down. It's not important right now. That I feel like is your biggest challenge. To be present in that moment with yourself when you're getting a big windfall is going to be the most difficult thing to do. But that's your task. It's not about holding it all. It's not about figuring out where it goes. It's not about creating a timeline or a schedule. It's about sitting with yourself when you receive a windfall. And the more that you can know what to do for yourself in those moments, the more you can be there for others, the more you can teach yourself, like the more that you'll be able to do for others, even if it's not teaching that same lesson. But the depth of presence with yourself dictates your expansion at this point in time, and you're ready for it. Okay. All right, my dears. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give my commentary on that one because I feel like that was going two different directions at the same time. Okay. And I'm hearing that some people come from here and needed to go up here. Some people came from here and needed to go up here. But either way, you cross each other in the center along the way. Okie dokie. Getting heady. All right. Let's move on to group 7. Group 7. I'm in heaven. We've been doing a lot of rhyming here today. You're halfway. Woo! Group 7. I just need you to be in your bliss. It's just about being bliss. Like, if you were in heaven, yeah, just put yourself in heaven right now. Put yourself in heaven. In this moment, not forever, not for perpetuity, right? But in this moment, what is heaven? And put yourself there. You know what I mean? Like, what is it that you need in this moment? What is it that you want? Not even need. Beyond what you need. What is it that you want? What is it that you desire? What tickles your fancy? What would just tickle you pink? You know what I mean? In this very moment. I'm not saying you have to have it for more than even just a moment, right? If you want rest and you're just craving bed, put yourself there. It's not like you have to stay there forever. Give yourself exactly what you need in this moment and make it a practice. Make it an energy that you tune into multiple times a day, especially if you're having a difficult moment, but even more so when you're having a great moment. When you're having a great moment, go in and find all the ways that you can make it extra better. And then don't be surprised when they show up. This is how you're going to fine tune your life. Okay, that's it. We're going to go into the next group. All right, my lovies. Group 8. Group 8. Group 8, don't wait. I'm seeing like this energy of like step right up, coming. It's like almost like a circus crier, right? Get your fortune told, or like come on up to put your head in the lion's mouth, or you know what I mean? This bravado that's working for you right now. I'm also seeing I think you used to be the kind of person who used to need a lot of rest, who needed to rest your voice after having that big expenditure and pushing out and forcing of energy. But now I'm seeing you like gambling and playing cards and like having a merry old time with with all the other carnival players. And just to recognize this increased capacity is huge. I mean, it's great. Recognizing this increase in capacity is what's going to make you moldable and changeable for future patterns and rhythms to come into your life. It's like someone who's tuned into their own rhythm and their capacity to shift and change rhythms. It just makes you a better dancer. You can dance to a lot of different musics that you probably have never even heard, right? If you've never heard a samba, being really tuned in and aware of your ability to shift and change your rhythm, and that your rhythm does shift and change, means that you can hear a new beat and acclimate to it really quickly. And that's the skill for you right now. Oops. Yeah, the next thing I hear is like 1, 2, cha, cha, cha. I think part of your training with yourself is audible retraining. So an invitation to speak more things out into the universe and to not out to the universe, but speak things out to yourself, to hear them, to establish this kind of a feedback loop, period. This reminds me of another reading. I'm wondering if they're sharing the same colors. We'll have to find out at the end when I get to review it. Because a lot of this is not retraining, but clarifying your water body. It's what you do for others when you have this bravado of step right up, da 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 da. Let me tell you da 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 da. Your voice goes out and filters people to you, right? People can hear you from far away very faintly, and even if they can't understand what you're saying or what you're not saying, the sound of your voice is either gonna kind of run right through them or is gonna pull them in. Or even some people, it might be like, oh, I don't like that sound, like I'm gonna pull away, right? People get closer to you, they hear more of your voice, and they come clearer still. But it's this kind of thing that by the time they get to you, to the area in front of your feet, your bravado, your voice has tuned them so well that they know that they like what they're hearing. They understand the words, they understand the invitation, and they've already said yes. So by the time they get to you here, they're like their hands are already extended with their ticket. Like they've bought the ticket, they've gotten it out of their purse, and they're ready to give it to you, right? Like they are prepared. You don't have to be interviewing, explaining things to people, none of that stuff, right? Your big bravado is helping people come tuned. Yeah, and anyone that comes and puts their head in the lion's mouth and then doesn't like it, it's their own, deafness is not what I want to use here. It's their own inability to hear, inability to listen. It's their own inability to listen. And that is information enough for that person. If you get people in your life who come in and do the thing and then are upset about the experience, then the magnitude of their upset is in direct relation to, is equivalent to the gravity of their disconnection with self. I feel like it doesn't happen often, but you'll occasionally get someone who's like, oh, I put my head in the lion's mouth and it was stinky. And it's like, well, what did you expect? And they're like, oh, well, come on now. The whole thing is to do this thing that's really scary and not get bit. You're complaining about some bad breath. That is the mirror that they need to hear and see and get right with themselves. But they just have refused to go into the hall of mirrors. And so they project it onto you. You have an opportunity, if and when that happens, to pick up that shard of glass, right? Pick up that projection, pick up that mirror and look at it yourself and be like, oh my goodness. Or you can turn it around and show them. What they're really trying to do is throw something onto you so that you can pick it up and show them. They need to see a mirror. And for whatever reason, they haven't been shown. They've been refusing to see it. I don't know why. We don't know why. We don't care, right? We know that there's a shard of glass at our feet, and it is not like it's not a mirror that has a frame on it, right? It's a shard of glass. It has the capacity to cut. It's not meant to cut. It has the capacity to cut. It's meant to be reflective. And your discernment in that moment to pick that shard up delicately, carefully, intentionally, and with full, you put your eyes on it. You have to have clear sight, or they're asking for you to own clear sight in that moment, to pick it up and to show it to that person, and to not look at it in the face. It's not meant for you. It's meant for you to pick up and show them. It's meant for you to hold for them, because as you pick that shard up and show them, it's their reaction that you're looking for. That's the information that you want. That's why you were drawn to that person. That's why they came to you. That's part of the interaction, right? Is showing them that reflection, but then seeing their response. And their response is what's going to attune and inform you. That's what you can take personally. And it teaches you not necessarily about what it is that you're reflecting. It's not about the content that you're reflecting. It's about how you're reflecting it. And that's your skill as a circus performer, is the art of reflection, the art of attuning to others within your own capacity. If you are an instrument, knowing your range, knowing your rhythm is important when you choose what musical pieces you play and don't play, right? It's important when choosing what people you do and do not interact with. And there are some musical pieces, there are some people that are just, the music's not written for your range. It's not, your instrument is not the right one to play, or there needs to be an adaptation where the music is transposed to something that's within your range. You are not meant to serve all people. You have a particular range. Your bravado is strong. Your clarity is direct. And there is a loving and compassionate and approachable and accessible way to be direct. And there is a brazen and wounding and careless and reckless way to be direct. And if you're the practitioner that I think well, it depends. It doesn't matter. Whatever kind of practitioner you want to be, if inflicting harm is part of your medicine, so be it. But you need to have that awareness, right? You need to have that awareness, because if harm is part of your MO, I'm hearing you need to have bandages ready, right? You need to have the proper tools and the proper aftercare for direct communication like that. If you're trying to be a practitioner who's more subtle in form and is not really ever going to draw blood, you still need to be aware of what might bruise, right? Less of your energy might be spent on aftercare, but a lot more of your energy is going to be spent on the correct approach. Whereas you might be a practitioner that doesn't consider a lot on the approach, but has to have a heavy time investment on the aftercare. It's just information. All right. Because I do feel like a lot of you are actual practitioners of some sort, loosely in the word, basically like offering services or offering growth portals, offering, I'm hearing like ding ding, like step into the ring, like offering boxing matches with other people, right? Whether it's what you do for your profession or you just have a habit of fighting with people, yeah, I would love to tune into that with you. If you are seeking, period, I would love to tune into that with you, but especially if you are seeking refinement and coaching, or even just a mirror, a perspective, right? A mirror to kind of check your own form. If you're more of a DIYer, reach out and book in. Okay. Thank you. Oof, yeah. Group 9. Group 9. All right, my dears. we've had a lot of rhymes today, and yours is not really a rhyme as much of a bridge. And I'll tell you the bridge of like 9, a cat has 9 lives. And then I'm seeing that those cat clocks, I don't know what decade they became popular in, but those cat clocks where their tails swing and their eyes go back and forth. I feel like you are, I don't feel like you're actively checking your surroundings, like constantly scanning. I think you have in the past. I think that your eyes are still trained on it now. I don't think your fear is as activated as it used to be. But I hear, heaven forbid, it's time to relax. It is time to relax. And then I see a cuckoo clock, right? With the bird that comes out over and over and over when the hour hits. It's about stepping out of the closet, stepping out of wherever you have closeted yourself or trapped yourself or put yourself in a box out of fear. It's like, you know, it's safe. You can stop scanning. You have been scanning for a long time, and it has been safe for a long time. I'm not talking about if it's founded or not, like you own your own trauma, right? But what I'm hearing is it's time to start stepping out. And I'm not saying you have to just come all the way out of the closet and not step back in it, like not step back in your comfort zone ever, right? Just like the little cuckoo bird, out and in, out and in, out and in. And as the time goes on, you will step out for a number of more times, right? As each hour passes, you step out more than once, right? And before you know it, before you get to 12, I hear, and the cycle starts again, you don't want to go back inside because it's so nice out. And then I hear fly the coop, like the bird who flew the coop, like then you're ready to go. And what a joy it is that day when you are ready to go, when you are ready to step out of fear and like test your wings and really take off in that direction that you have been not really even able to focus on. Like that's the problem, is you have been in so much fear that you have not been able, your eyes haven't really landed on it, on what you want for any measurable amount of time. I feel like it's only like, it's like if you're spinning around in circles and you're trying to see something, you only get glimpses of it, and you can only get so much information in a glimpse, even if you have 1,000 of them back to back to back to back, right? It's so much more effective to even see that, stop and see that same direction for like 20 seconds than to have 2,000 seconds that's just like built upon itself, you know? It's time for you to be able to look at your future with a loving gaze and not have to tear your eyes away from it out of fear. Okay. I love you guys. Group 10. Group 10. We've had a lot of rhymes today, if you haven't tuned into the others. And I just hear men, and then I hear this like, it's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men. And I'm seeing this meme of like a visual representation of it raining men, and there's like a lot of like disjointed and like bloody and wounded cartoon men falling from the sky who've all fallen on the ground. And it's just it's talking about body count, right? And this kind of, I'm hearing like wake of destruction that you don't have to be any kind of sex or gender for this. It's more broadly applicable in the sense of and it is about romantic relationships, and it's not even just about strict romantic relationships. It's about any kind, like the wake of destruction, not the wake behind you of so many people who have visioned themselves with you is vast. And for each of those, whether you were romantically involved or not, there carries a shared string of investment. And I am seeing it's almost like the balloon man, who has like a lot of different balloons, but if all the balloons were lead and you're pulling it behind you because you're wanting something different, how much this holds you back. And so the invitation is to just let go. Let go of all of the connections that you've made. And I'm not saying forget about them. Not at all. Don't forget about them. They're beautiful and special, and they're all in their own right. That stranger that you had a like flirty connection with, and you exchanged eye contact with twice, or something that sticks with you still. Like, you don't have to forget that. I'm just saying, let the connection that ties you, that binds you, let that attention go. Release it. Open your hand so that individual may cast their attention and their gaze in a new direction, cast their net in a new pond, so to speak. And it'll do two things. It'll clear your hand, right? That is very cramped at this point in time. I don't know how you've been holding all that stuff. Your grip strength is severe. But opening your hand does a number of things. It like loosens the tendons, I hear, and it opens it up for like a little bird to light in your hand. And now it's giving me like Snow White vibes of this like hand with this little bird that comes and lands, and it just sings you the most beautiful song. And it might fly away, and then it might come back. But you will never know if this bird will come back if you don't give it the chance to fly away. That's the difference between what's been going on with all of your other connections. You don't need to grip it, because that undermines the connection in and of itself. If you're holding a bunch of balloons, they're never meant for you anyway, right? If they just want to get away, right? If they're helium balloons and you're holding on to them, and if you let go, they would just all have floated away. That's why you hang on to it. I get it. You're left with nothing. You're empty-handed. But that's on purpose. You're empty-handed because it's not the right fit. It's empty-handed because you're not trying to build life or relationship, romantic or otherwise, with the balloon, with something that's just literally, trying to rise. Even if you have the concept of wanting to ascend with it, right? You want to rise up. No matter. You need to let it go, because this little birdie's going to teach you how to fly. And wouldn't it be so brilliant to be able to soar with your partner, to be able to soar with this connection, romantic or otherwise, right? This started in romance, but it's shifting elsewhere. How much more fun it is to soar when you're both flying, right? When one doesn't have to support the other. You know that you're there together, and you know that your time together and apart is both intentional, that both parties want to be where they want to be, because there's no grasping happening. There's no grasping at hand. And then I'm also seeing that, oh my gosh, in Shrek, the first movie of Shrek, where I think it's Shrek, I don't know, blows up these animal balloons. I don't know, it's a mixed image now. But there's this little bird, I feel like, that sings and becomes so large and full of air that it explodes. I think that's in Shrek, I'm not sure. And this warning to, if a little birdie lands in your hand, not to blow it so full of air that it explodes. Like, that's not what it's supposed to do. I feel like you are so used to having balloons put in your hand, having offers put in your hand, filling those offers with hot air. Oof, y'all. Filling those relationships, filling those opportunities, filling those offers with promises you can't keep, or with what you wish would happen, or this, that, and the other thing. And it just not doing what you want it to do. If you're filling something with hot air, it's not going to float, it's going to sink. And that's probably part of why you have all of these lead-filled, like leaden balloons that you're dragging behind you. Because it's just I see what you're saying of like, you thought that these opportunities that came to you were like, you thought that they were going to be full of helium. You thought that they were going to be something that brings you to the top, that helps you rise, something that helps get you noticed, helps you be found, helps you soar. When in reality, your approach and your way of engaging in relationship has just created weight for you to carry. Your vision of wanting to soar, of wanting dynamic freedom, or wanting to experience freedom, wanting to ascend, is correct. The way that you have tried to go about doing it is where you've gotten caught up, and where it is incorrect. Yeah. Open your hand. Put some birdseed in there. Put some physical, tangible, literal input, offerings out into the world. See what birds land. When they land, let them eat, let them go, let them digest, let them see how their poop is, and let them decide if they want to come back or not. Continue to evolve, continue to learn how to give more authentically, compassionately. Like, do your research on the birdseed, right? Like, continue to evolve as a human. Don't feel like you have to be stuck with one way of doing things. But keep your hand open and see who comes back. Okay, loves. You got this. If you are seeking additional scaffolding, I hear in this group specifically around affirmations and clarifying self-beliefs. Let's get in touch. I am considering and contemplating offering specific, personalized to you, like affirmation tapes based on like what comes through your records, what comes through your soul guidance, like getting those and attuning those, like making recordings for you. So if that's interesting to you, reach out. And that's it. Thank you, group 10. 11, group 11. 11, I hear Heaven on 7, which is a great restaurant that used to be in Chicago. I don't know if it's still open, but 11. I'm actually hearing, feeling, seeing the opposite of heaven, which one would argue is the hellscape that we're in now, but that's not true. I'm seeing kind of a very just hellish existence. And I'm feeling like you're just trapped and you're just like in this routine and rhythm that's like, not even a routine and rhythm. It's just like everywhere you turn, things are on fire. And the answer I see lies within yourself. All right, babes. I think you guys might be in some dire straits. And I'm just imagining a protective fog coming around you. A bubble perhaps, but it's not right. It needs to be a fog, just something to kind of dampen the noise. So you can remember and refine. So you can remember, refine, and refine to make better, to make clear the water within you, the holiness within you, the spark, like that I'm seeing like in this kind of hellscape of like everything's red and hot and hazy and fiery and brimstone, stuff like that. This like cool fog around you that I'm able to hold to just dampen the noise, so that way you can find it. Almost looks like one of those like Sims crystals, but it's a water droplet and it's blue and it feels so cooling and soothing, and kind of like in lotion commercials where they like have the dry cracked skin and then they have that like lotion ointment in like usually like a golden drop or something, and it goes onto the skin and it just like smooths everything out. But I'm seeing you finding that that's inside of you. I mean you know it, and I'm here to tell it to you. That's inside of you. And I can see that some of you have had that drop poisoned by your own or others' self-beliefs. And I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about your ability and capacity to, even by just putting attention on your holiness, on your inner waters, it has a purifying capacity. It purifies in your form. Period. Let me know if you want additional help or support. And remember that you are so loved. It's just disgusting and magnificent how loved that you are. Okay, you got it. Group 12. All right, I'm seeing, we've had a lot of rhyming here today and stretch rhymes. I hear shelve, and then I'm feeling like you're like 3 to 4 inches away from being able to comfortably grab a book off of a high shelf. I feel like this is actually about the Akashic Records specifically, because that is the kind of practice that I do. I feel like you're just like, it's like your fingers can touch it, right? Your fingers are brushing against the spine, but it's that kind of thing where you're on your tiptoes, you're so unsteady, And it's not that you fall, but you just like rock back on your heels where you're definitely out of reach, and then you try forward again. And I'm just seeing, like, do you remember in the library? I mean, they probably still have these. It's terrible that it's been so long. Well, actually, I feel like libraries have shorter shelves these days. I'm not sure. Anyway, I haven't seen them in libraries lately because I've been around a lot of new libraries, and I have a feeling that there are just shorter shelves in libraries these days. But they were like little scooters. They had wheels. They were circular. They also had like tripod energy of like, they were whatever. You could step on them, and when you stepped on them, the wheels stopped and it became a stool. And I just feel like, you know, there's probably a step stool, right? There's probably a way that you can step up to reach the information that you would like to in the Akashic Records. For some of you, it may be different, but I feel like this is squarely about like divine information, divine guidance. But maybe it's literally about like reaching a pinnacle of study on a research project, right? Or like there is a piece of information that's out of your reach, and you're like, if I could just get this. And there is a clear way that you could get it, right? You could just ask the person directly. You can ask a colleague or a coworker. You could sign up for a course. There is a clear stepping stool. I'm hearing that you're a little bit, it's not impatient. I'm hearing that, I'm hearing that you're impatient to go to the next row of books, to go get that little scooter step thing and bring it back. And I think this is the belief that you have on yourself too, is like you think you're too impatient, but in fact it's not about that. I'm hearing that you're afraid to lose eyes on it. Like if you lose, it took you so long to find that person, that companion, that modality. It took you so long to find that book, whatever that book is representing to you, that you're afraid that taking your eyes off of it, you're going to have a really hard time getting back to it, or it's going to take just as long, or you're going to lose your place, or you're going to, or you're going to get distracted, and that's not true, my friend. That is 0% true. There's not going to be, even other people that walk by, even if they do stop you, even if they do, like you're walking around to get that little stool thing and then in the next aisle over, even if the librarian stops you along the way and you get into a really good conversation and you talk about your research project or whatever, even after that conversation, you're going to remember that book. I don't want you to feel like you're going to lose access to that book. If anything, you're going to know what else to pull off the shelf in addition to that. It's all part of the process. I don't want you to feel like you're going to lose that connection, and it's impossible. Okay? It's impossible. It is literally not. Yeah. You're not going to be losing that. You're not going to be losing touch. You may have a reassociation and a reevaluation with that connection, with that information. But it's all for the best, It's not necessarily a bad thing, even if something is like your total, like your whole focus is on it. It's your complete world right now. It's not a bad thing for that thing to get smaller and to care about other things. You're never going to lose it. You're never going to not remember. Okay. If you need additional support, if you're seeking additional guidance, if you'd like additional perspective on what you're dealing with and what you're working on right now, I'm here. Book in. As of this moment, my books are open. And we can touch into your particular soul experience and what's actually happening for you specifically within this context, or totally beside this context. But I will see you there. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Okay. Group 13. Yeah. Group 13, 13, 13. Oh, I hear the luckiest ones of all. And like rabbit's foot, a 4-leaf clover, all these things that you feel like, yeah. I'm just feeling you kind of like pulling all these things to you for extra luck, or perhaps not luck, but as safeguards, of like compiling extra resources because you're afraid something will go wrong. And it's like, I'm here to tell you, you're afraid something's going to go wrong, and that you're afraid that you're going to need extra luck. Yeah, it's not going to do the trick. It's not going to do the trick, friend. The shifts that need to happen are inside your body, and it's your mindset. And some of you are like, yeah, but it's so much easier than you think it is. It literally is so much easier than you think it is. And I know, not for you. Pick one thing. You're picking too many things, but pick literally one thing. I hear, I am ready for love, right? This belief that you're not ready for love or something like that. Pick one thing. It doesn't have to be that. Pick one thing and start searching for that. Whenever that comes up, wherever that is, when you're with a certain person, or you're in a certain environment, or you are dwelling on a certain thing, notice when and where that comes up. And it's not about protecting yourself from that. It's not about dissociating from that stimulus or input that might be prompting that in you, whether it's a friend that you spend time around, or whether it's a certain room in your house, or whether it's a certain memory comes up. You don't have to rid yourself of that. You are going to rewrite the association. And I want you to choose one simple belief that comes up a few times a day, or maybe not at all, maybe just a few times a week or once a month. It doesn't matter, but it's better if it comes up more often, because then you'll have more activity, but not something that's literally with you constantly. If you want to try this out, it's nice to have something that's like, perhaps not, whatever, it doesn't matter. Choose one thing and make a choice to see it differently. Period. Make a choice to see it differently. If it's, I'm not ready for love, whenever that comes up, whether you're like scrolling on Instagram, you see someone with someone else, and you're like, you see your ex with someone, and you're like, oh, I'm not ready for love, right? Or you go out and you see people eating ice cream, and you're like, oh, they're so cute, I'm not ready for love. Take it and flip it in whatever context that you see it, right? So if the ice cream place, imagine you and someone that you love eating ice cream together. Like template yourself onto those people if you need to, right? And the point is here is to use the thing that's damaging you as the portal and gateway to your freedom that you're looking for. Like use what binds you to pull you open, right? That's the mechanism of the shift. And the shift that happens, facilitated by the mechanism, is your vibrational pattern, is your belief. Your vibrational pattern is the root of your belief. Your belief can be in words, but your vibrational pattern is underneath the words. It's before words, right? It's a feeling. Before we say something, we feel it. And so the key is to, shift your vibrational pattern. And that's something you can, you're so smart. You are so smart. You're so smart. You have done this before. You may have done this to the detriment of yourself, right? You could have done this in the opposite direction, but I'm asking you now to choose to invest in yourself in a way that expands you. And it doesn't have to be all of the things that you're working or struggling on right now at once. It's just one thing. You just choose one thing. What are you curious about? Make it innocuous if you don't think it's going to happen, right? If you're feeling like you are out of control around a certain kind of food, like not a big deal, but you're like, oh man, every time I see Cheez-Its, I'm a goner, right? Start there. Start there. Start there. It doesn't have to be every time I see junk food, every time I see a carb. No. Cheez-Its. Start with something that's like not your kryptonite, just the K part of the kryptonite, right? Just a small aspect of it, right? See what happens. Okay, my loves, if you want additional support, reach out. I offer one-on-one readings where we can get a lot more specific and attuned to you energetics and information. Whether you want to understand why behind some things, whether you're wanting to experience a shift yourself, or whether you are wanting to get more information on the direction that you would like to go, whether you know what that is or not. I love to sit with others and help them see themselves more clearly in a loving and compassionate and kind way. And we have a lot of giggles too, so love to laugh. All right, group 13, you got this. Put the rabbit's foot down and remember that the shift is inside you. You have it first. Okay. Gotta write it down, because this is group 14. Group 14. All right, my loves, I am seeing, what is it? It's like an altar, but it's a very specific shape. It's like a table with two flat, solid, 2D, like pieces of wood. And I'm not talking about like a 2x4. I'm talking about like, what would it be? 2 inches by 3 feet by 4 feet, you know, like a wide piece. Yeah, like this. And then a slab that goes across the top. The top is just a little bit wider than the legs. And there are 2 legs. I'm seeing like 2 legs versus 4 legs. Often tables have 4 legs, and this table has 2 legs. You are able to hold so much just on your own. You don't need another person, whether that's a business partner, whether that's a relational partner, whether that's a roommate, whatever second person, a navigator, someone to bounce ideas off of. Yes to all of that. And a table can have 2 legs. A table can have 2 legs. And it can hold so much. And it can be just as strong, if not stronger, than a table with 4 legs. Like people each have 2 legs, so 4 legs is like 2 people. That's where that came from. I'm seeing it's what some of the first tables were made out of, like stone wise. It's giving like big Stonehenge vibes, big like Catholic priest altar vibes. It doesn't have to be Catholic, but ritualized, mass-driven Christianity with I'm seeing like the body and blood of Christ, like the stuff that's prepared on the table. Altars that churches, belief systems that need functional spaces, alchemical grounds, so to speak. places for alchemy to occur. You don't need a partner for alchemy to occur. You are already holding. You already have held and are holding and have the capacity to continue to hold alchemical reactions where bread and wine turn into the body and blood of Christ. I'm hearing that's some loaves and fishes. I heard loads, yeah. Loads and fishes stuff right there. I want to remind you of your sanctity, of your inner sanctity, of your inner and outer sanctity, the sanctity that exists in you and also exists in all people. A reminder to bring that kind of reverence to all others that you sit beside. Whether you see it or not, they have it. A reminder to tend your own table and to stock your own cupboards with the things that you need. To not have such a deep concern with others, whether it's how they do things, if they're doing it, or the quality at which they do. I'm hearing that the alchemy that you are conducting is meant to be shown and shared in due time, but I'm seeing that you're kind of just like now I'm seeing like Doc from Back to the Future in his laboratory, and you're kind of just, you're in the garage, right? You're in the garage testing stuff out, like it's a little bit of mad scientist vibes. And we love that for you. To enjoy the process, to wear the clothes you want to wear. Your lab coat doesn't have to look like other people's lab coats. Some people wear lab coats and some people wear priest's clothes. I'm not sure what it's called, like the poncho style thing. Medicine makers and wisdom takers wear many different things. The process is the same though. It's taking wisdom and clarified guidance from one form and turning it into 3-dimensional, consumable, pass-outable goods and services. Keep tinkering and invite others in when you're ready to share. I hear you're not ready to take it to market yet, and that's okay. You're building stability on the 2 legs of the table. You're building stability and belief in your capacity to hold and carry the product. And you want to make sure that the joints, and I feel like this is like your physical joints, yes. You want to shore up the joints of the table to make sure that they're sturdy before you set much on it. Joints symbolize and represent your ability to bend, move, pivot, and change to your environment. A lot of what needs to be said here is to stand firm, independent of the environment. It doesn't matter what environment a table is in, it's pretty rigid and holds its shape. Going along with this, a 2-legged table is sturdier than 4 when in different terrains. Unless those 4 legs can be adjusted individually, unless you and your business partner, you and the other person, can have a sense of adapting within yourself and adapting between each other, a 2-legged table, I'm seeing just like doesn't weeble wobble as much because they're like, it's more like 2 points of contact than 4. there's an importance to recognizing what environments are for you. You don't want to take tables out into the wild where the terrain is rocky and rough and a table's not really what you need unless you do have a lot of adaptability. It's okay to be in environments where you don't have to adapt that much to begin with, but begin to consider where you want to be performing your services. Like if you are a priest or a reverend, like, are you going to want to be outside? Do you want to be inside? Do you want to be in a controlled environment? Do you want to be in a basement, a church basement doing services? Do you want to be in a hospital? Like what environment would you like to serve? In what environment would you like to serve? What kind of people would you like to serve? But perhaps, no, sorry. Taking that back, it's not about the people you are serving. It's about the environment. It's not the individual, it's the environment, because the environment dictates and attracts and draws and has contracts with the people. And solidifying, I think you've been thinking about this all wrong, of like, well, I have to think about all the individuals that I want to work with, or all the energetic imprint and blueprint of all the people that I'm meant to serve. And it's like, no. You're looking, that's way too much information. No wonder you've been getting overwhelmed, and no wonder you feel like you can't hold it all yourself. It's too much to look at. You are looking for a partner, but your partner is going to be the environment, is going to be what holds you, what holds your setup and your alchemical process. And this can be like a literal person, right? Like the person who provides the stability and the space and the home for you to exist in and proliferate. That's your partner. Your partner doesn't have to be holding the alchemy with you. Your partner is the environment, is the space that you want to be doing your alchemy in. You are the alchemist. The partner and the space is part of the alchemy, but they are not tinkering with a lab coat. They're not directly involved with the ingredients, right? Theirs is a more passive contribution. It's like if you're a bread maker and you make your bread on this table, you've got your starter here with the yeast. The environment contributes to the starter. It contributes to the loaf of bread, but not by how it's kneaded or how it's combined. It contributes through the energetic that it holds, through the spores in the air that the environment holds, and through the temperature, right? Through the temperature, through what tools can be brought into that environment, through its containment, its structure, its holding. And it no doubt, the alchemical process can't happen without that environment. If it happened outside, like the weather, the conditions would shift too much. It's just too much. There's no doubt that the partner that you seek, for whatever thing that you're trying to do, very important, yes, but you need to get right in what you're asking of this person. Or maybe it's not even a person, maybe it literally is an environment for you, but thinking about your partner as the environment, or as someone who holds the environment, that's what you're looking for. Because you're an alchemist through and through. You are not meant to hold space when you're providing your medicine. You are meant to be held when you provide your medicine. Okay, my loves. Thank you for tuning in. If you are an entrepreneur, or if you're just a person who's curious about whatever you're doing here, but especially if you're an entrepreneur and you are shepherding a particular alchemical process, like if you've got a flow and you want to understand how to honor that flow, let me know. We can open up the records of that particular flow and your partnership in and of itself, whether it's a modality or whether it literally is a business partner, however it is. we can look at your collective experience, the way your energies interact and are informed. That's definitely something we can do. But thank you for being here. And yeah, I believe in you and your work in the world. It's important and it's meant to be found, and it's here as part of the process. So, big gratitude. Okay, y'all, let's get to our closing. What a time. I'm going to go ahead and close out this collective space, and we'll get the last message that we have for the day. In love and light, I thank our masters, teachers, and loved ones for their information and guidance. Amen, amen, amen. The records are closed. All right, the last thing I see are, it's like 3 little ducks, but then it turns into those 3 little girls in, is it 3 or is it 2? In Despicable Me. I feel like it's 3 because they're 3 little kittens. Yeah. And just grew, I think he puts them to bed with a bedtime story at some point in time, but basically just like the concept of like 3 little ducks or 3 little kittens, 3 little kids, and just pats on the head. Sometimes our belief systems, and maybe not our belief systems, sometimes our intrusive thoughts and our beliefs and our internal thoughts and sometimes external thoughts can feel like wild, unruly, terrible twos toddlers that are all just running around in different directions, like herding cats. And yeah, just imagining our thoughts. They eventually just run out of steam. They run out of steam and they have to go to sleep and they got to go to bed. And you know what happens when kids go to bed? They grow up overnight, it seems. They grow over time. And your beliefs and your belief systems and your intrusive thoughts and your internal monologues, they're going to change and evolve and grow over time, undoubtedly. Whether you want them to or not, they will. You get to decide which way they grow. And you get to decide how you're going to nourish and inform and train and educate and water them so they evolve in different ways. So that's my love to you, my dears. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Join me every Wednesday for a pick a pile or a pick a number reading with the Akashic Records. And yeah, just so much gratitude. I am so thankful to be here experiencing this at this period in time. So thank you for being here too. I'll catch you all soon. Bye.